After a forgettable start to the series, the Montreal Canadiens looked to reset things against the Buffalo Sabres. The Habs struggled to get much of anything going in Game 1, and they ended up trailing for more time in Game 1 against the Sabres than they did through the entirety of their 7-game series with the Tampa Bay Lightning. The good news for the Canadiens is they are 26-8-3 this year following a loss, including a 3-0 record in the postseason. Now, somewhat surprisingly, no changes to the lineup for the Canadiens tonight. Jakub Dobeš and Alex Lyon are once again the starters as the Habs look to even things up and take away home ice advantage with a win tonight. Just a minute and 36 seconds in, the Canadiens silenced the crowd in Buffalo. A shot by Caden Gooley was deflected en route to the net by Alex Newhook, giving the Habs an early 1-0 lead less than 2 minutes into the game. A start that was about as good as they could have hoped for, giving themselves an opportunity to play from in front for the first time in the series. The Sabres tried to push back, with Dobeš coming up with a few saves in quick succession. Montreal didn't turtle though, as they continued to press offensively, generating more looks of their own. Less than 3 minutes after the opening goal, the Canadiens stunned the Buffalo crowd as a shot from distance by Mike Matheson after a faceoff beats Alex Lyon clean, finding the top corner on the blocker side and doubling the Habs' advantage to 2. Lots of traffic in front, something the Canadiens struggled to do on Wednesday night. You could hear the Go Habs Go cheers in the crowd, to the frustration of Sabres fans in attendance who started booing. A picture-perfect start for the Canadiens, who go up by multiple goals for just the second time this postseason. Nick Suzuki had a chance to put the Canadiens up 3 with a breakaway opportunity, but he ran out of space to handle the puck and wasn't able to get the best shot on target. Alexandre Carrier then took a terrible tripping penalty after a cross-ice pass from Mike Matheson handcuffed him, resulting in a 2-minute minor for tripping. The Habs go to the penalty kill and combine a few clears with a few nice stops by Dobeš, a little bit of puck luck with the Sabres missing the net, surviving the PK and maintaining their 2-goal advantage. The Sabres don't stop pushing after the penalty ends, continuing to generate offensive looks. Montreal still did get their own chances, but I have to say I think the Canadiens really need to tighten this up a little bit more defensively, as I don't like the idea of playing this kind of run-and-gun style against the Sabres. After breaking up a 2-on-1 chance for the Habs, Rasmus Dahlin got called for interference after roughing up Lane Hudson along the boards. The Habs get their first opportunity with the man advantage, and both of the Canadiens' power play units looked very threatening on this one. Now, while they didn't score a goal, it was exactly the kind of power play that gives you confidence and makes you believe that they absolutely would score if given enough opportunities. The Canadiens held on to momentum at 5-on-5 after that power play, giving the Sabres fits in their own end as they repeatedly forced turnovers and chances off the cycle. A really strong period for the Canadiens. The Sabres were hardly able to generate anything on their own. All of their best looks came as a result of mistakes by the Habs defense. If the Habs can maintain their offensive play and clean up the mistakes in their own end, they should easily handle this Sabres team. Now, late in the period, Doan threw a bit of a dirty hit on Dobson, who was nowhere near the puck with 15 seconds to go. That gave the Habs their second chance on the power play, and while the Canadiens didn't manage to score before the intermission, man did they come close. With 3 chances in the final 10 seconds, Montreal goes into the intermission up 2-0, leading in shots 13-8, up 15-6 in the faceoff category, and silencing a rather raucous Buffalo crowd. So Montreal starts the second period still working that power play. Ivan Demidov got clipped on a big hit by Greenway that was a bit late and a bit high. I'm not sure I like that hit. Neither did Marty St. Louis. Demidov went off and the power play struggled a little bit, maintaining possession but not getting a lot of shots on target. Alexandre Carrier then took another minor penalty, this time for hooking, but Thompson went down way too easy for a guy his size. The dude's about 9 feet tall and he went down like he'd been shot. So Montreal went shorthanded for the second time in this one. They gotta clean up their play and stay out of the box. Fortunately, Montreal's penalty killers, and Jakub Dobeš in particular, fared much better in this game. The Canadiens survive a second Sabres power play, and they don't waste any time getting back on track offensively after killing this one off. Noah Dobson absorbs a massive hit in behind his own net, working the puck up the ice to Jake Evans, who went in 2-on-2 with Alex Newhook. Evans sent a terrific feed across the middle of the ice, and Newhook was able to deflect it by Lyon for his second goal of the game, giving the Canadiens a massive 3-goal lead. Early in the second period, they're up 3-0. The Canadiens are flirting with an opportunity to put this game on ice early. Unfortunately, they won't have a chance to do that right away because of another penalty, this time by Arbor Xhekaj. And you know Marty St. Louis is not going to be impressed by this one. Xhekaj takes an undisciplined penalty for slashing, and it sends Buffalo to their third chance on the power play. A huge chance for the Sabres to get right back into this game. The Habs make it a third consecutive kill. Shortly after that kill, Nick Suzuki gets a step on everyone, Samuelsson hauls him down, and the Canadiens get their third look on the power play. The Canadiens again looked much stronger on the man advantage than the Sabres did, holding the puck in the Sabres' end for a full 3 minutes, peppering the Sabres' net, but unfortunately they somehow weren't able to put one home here. It was again encouraging for the Canadiens' power play, and I'm very pleased with how they looked with the man advantage in this one, despite the lack of goals. The Sabres were on their heels for the majority of this period, and the majority of the first 40 minutes really, as this was a clinical road game by the Canadiens up until this point. The Habs maintained the pressure offensively until they took yet another penalty, their third of the period, this time on a bit of a slow line change. They get called for too many men. It's Buffalo's fourth opportunity with the man advantage. Montreal is really playing with fire at this point, and at some point, they're going to get burned. It wasn't this time though. Another good kill, more saves by Dobesh, and more frustration on the man advantage for the Buffalo Sabres. Then with time winding down in the third period, it looks like the Habs are set to go into the third in full control. With less than a minute to go though, Zach Benson has a dominant shift, forcing a turnover on the duo of Dodson and Hudson, setting up chances before finally redirecting one in at the mouth of the net, pulling the Sabres to within 2, headed into the third period. A little bit reminiscent of Game 4 against Tampa Bay when the Habs were leading 2-0 late in the second. They allowed a goal in the final minute, and you're hoping that this mistake isn't going to lead to a similar result, where the Lightning were able to come from behind and beat the Canadiens 3-2 in that one. The Habs start the third period still up by 2, but they're gripping their sticks just a little bit tighter. They just need to clean up the play at their own end, as the Sabres' best chances have all been coming when the Habs have made mistakes in the defensive zone. Jakub Dobesh makes a few relatively routine saves early, the Sabres don't get too much going, then Alexandre Carrier atones for his earlier errors. He pounces on a blown tire by Tage Thompson at the offensive blue line. Carrier comes in on a 2-on-1, looks off the defender, waits, picks a corner, and delivers an absolute snipe. Bar down, ripping one by Lyon and putting the Canadiens up 4-1. Especially nice for Carrier after he'd taken those 2 really bad penalties earlier in this one, atoning for those mistakes, restoring the Canadiens' 3-goal advantage with just over 16 minutes to go in this one. The Sabres need something to spark them, something to give them life in this one. They almost get it on another great play by Zach Benson, who was absolutely their MVP in this one. Benson got Dobesh to commit to the shot, slid the puck over to Norris, who was somehow unable to bury the puck into a wide open net, and it seemed like that was the story of the game for the Sabres. When they did get their chances, they just couldn't bury them. Whereas when the Canadiens generated their looks, they were consistently able to put the puck in the net. It really just looked like the Canadiens finally arrived in this series. Now, the one glaring issue for the Canadiens in this game was the sheer volume of turnovers in their own end or on attempted breakouts. So often they were making weak little passes that didn't reach the intended targets, or ill-advised plays up the middle of the ice directly into the opposing forecheck. Byram then got away with one elbow, so he figured he may as well try getting away with another. The refs called the second one, and the Habs go to the man advantage with under 7 minutes to go. Poor Cole Caulfield, he just cannot buy a goal these playoffs. He ripped one off the crossbar after being forgotten in the high slot. But more importantly than the chance to score, it's the loss of 2 more minutes for the Sabres to try and come back. Now the clock ticks down below 5 minutes to go, the Sabres pull Alex Lyon, and the Canadiens immediately make them pay. Nick Suzuki deposits a long shot into the net, essentially icing this one for the Canadiens, putting them up 5-1 with 4 minutes to go. Now the teams trade a few late penalties, the Sabres have a bit of time at 6-on-4, but nothing crazy really occurred as the clock wound down and the Canadiens put a stamp on a dominant 5-1 victory over the Buffalo Sabres in Game 2. This is the team you're going to be seeing going forward, Sabres fans. This is what you have to look forward to. And if the Habs continue to produce like this, good luck. You're going to need it, Buffalo, if you want any chance of beating the Habs. The Canadiens won 5-1 without even scoring on the power play. Ivan Demidov and Cole Caulfield have been ice cold, and they're still doing this well. Montreal improves to 4-0 after a loss in the postseason. Now they'll look to win back-to-back games for the first time in the playoffs as the series shifts back to Montreal on Sunday night at the Bell Center. And for all the talk of what a great atmosphere Buffalo was going to be, I really didn't see it. I mean, even when the team was leading in Game 1, the crowd never really seemed to be remarkably loud or involved in the game. Habs fans are gonna show Sabres fans exactly what loud means on Sunday night. And I'm wondering, who's gonna be walking the torch into the arena on Sunday night? Vincent D'Anfous, Pierre Turgeon, Guy Carbonneau, Patrick Roy. It seems like they've been advancing by decade. I'm guessing someone from the late 80s, early 90s, and I'm really excited to see who they choose to bring out. Anyway, you guys, that's going to be it for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you made it to the end of the video, please consider giving us a like and a subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and have a great night, guys.